Hello and welcome back as we continue talking about CSA concepts. And in this lesson, we're going to talk about architectural trade-off decisions. So let's click on this section over here on the Orion papers. And we're going to look at this from two different perspectives. One talking about storage trade-off options, and then also talking about database trade-off options. And we're going to talk specifics in each one of those two categories, but broadly, architectural trade-offs is something that you need to consider when choosing any one particular AWS service for the type of application that you are developing. So let's start with storage and talk about some of those trade-off options. So here I have listed S3 standard storage, S3 RRS, and Glacier. And when looking to store data in S3, you need to understand the differences between these three options and make the best decision based on the availability and durability that you need for the particular type of objects that you're going to be storing and weigh those against the potential cost. So obviously with S3 storage, it has 11 nines durability and 99.99% availability, but it is the most expensive. However, if you look at something like RRS, reduced redundancy, the durability is lower, but the storage is also cheaper. So if you're going to store something in RRS, are they objects that can be reproducible? If they are, then that might be a better option for you. But if they're not reproducible, then it probably isn't a valid option for you. So there's going to be trade-offs there, and you have to look at the type of objects that you're storing and if they're reproducible or not. Now, the same goes for Glacier because Glacier requires an extended time frame to check in and check out data from archiving. However, its cost is significantly reduced. So is your data or are your objects things that may be fine with taking a long time to retrieve? And if so, then you could put it in Glacier and save on the cost. But however, then you do run the risk that if you do need that or you do need it immediately, that you won't be able to get it immediately. So there's trade-offs with all three different types of storage. And it's really important when architecting out your environments to really understand the differences and the trade-offs between each so that you are selecting the right one to meet the needs for your particular application or the type of data or objects that you're storing in S3. Now, with databases, we're going to take a look at this from the perspective of running a database on an EC2 instance directly. So actually creating an EC2 instance and installing database software versus running a fully managed database option through something like RDS. So when running databases on an EC2 instance, we have to manage the underlying operating system. Now, this does provide more management, but it also provides more control. So there's positive benefits to doing that. We also then have to build and plan for high availability, right? We don't have read replicas or multi-AZ failover built into running databases on an EC2 instance directly. We have to apply our own backups. However, one of the benefits is that we can use additional software to cluster, say, MySQL. Now, this is something that is not available in RDS. And also, it requires more time to manage than RDS. So you get more control and maybe you can do more things. However, it does then take longer to manage and more effort to manage a database that is installed directly onto an EC2 instance. Now, flipping over to the other side of this and looking at a managed RDS service, we should already know that fully managed databases are updated for us and do not require managing the underlying operating system. They also provide automatic point-in-time backups. And we can easily enable multi-AZ failover, and when a failover occurs, the DNS is switched from the primary instance to the standby instance. Also, if multi-AZ is enabled, then backups are taken against the standby instance, and this improves performance by reducing I/O freezes. And this is just a great way to help improve performance on our overall application. It's also super easy to create read replicas, which again just allows for greater performance and easier backup solutions. However, again, with managed RDS services, though, you do lose some granular control. You don't have as full a control over your database as you would if you were to install it directly onto an EC2 instance. So there are trade-offs with going with either option, and it's important when you're making these types of decisions in your AWS environment and for your application that you understand exactly what you need your application to do and how you want to manage it, and understand these trade-offs so you can make the proper decision that is going to be best for your application. And with that, we will conclude this lesson. Thank you for watching. You may now move on.